Welcome back, aliens. Today we are going to see on how to use that HLOOKUP in your Excel. In previous video we were talking about how to use that VLOOKUP, and in this video we are going to show on how to use that HLOOKUP in your Excel. HLOOKUP and VLOOKUP are the necessary functions in Excel which is used to search the element based on that criteria mentioned. VLOOKUP will be involved in that row wise search, whereas HLOOKUP will be involved in that element in that column wise search. Let's get into the cell. I just mentioned three columns. One is student ID, first name, and marks. And here is the search element, and this is the search text. Okay. Here I'm just going to type the formula for HLOOKUP. And here if you check that, and HLOOKUP is accepting four parameters, and the first one is the search key, and second one is that search range, and third one is a search index, and fourth one is a search type. So here if you check that search key, so search key, which element do you want to search in the specific range? So I just going to select this search range. I just want to look for the value marks. Okay, and the second parameter is search range. Search range I'm going to specify student ID to 240. Here why you may ask why you are including the student ID and first name marks in the specific columns. Okay, the criteria is the controller is going to look for a value marks in that horizontally, means in the column wise, means so if so I just want to take that marks column, so that is why I'm specifying that column header as well. Okay, so I'm just specifying that range with that headers. Okay, so and third parameter I'm just going to specify that search index. So what do you mean by index? As I explained that in previous video, so index is nothing but a specific column position from that search result cell. So here if you check that, this is the this is the column header, and here assume that the search will happen on horizontally it will happen, and in the horizontal element that that the data will be returned in the marks cell. Okay, here if you check that, I just want a data which is in third position. So assume that, what do you mean by third position? So this is the first position, this is the second position, and the third position. Okay, so this is how the controller will look for the value in HLOOKUP. And so here the third position I need to mention as a third parameter. So here if you check that, you can see that it is for 400. So I'm just mentioning that search type, that's it's a false. False means that exact search. Okay, let's get in, I'll just explain it later. And if you check that, the result is a 400. Here if you check that, the first parameter I'm just specifying that search element of marks, second parameter range, and third parameter search position, and fourth parameter search type. Okay, and you must know how it is working. Okay, and just explain it clearly, but you must know practically how it is working. So here I'm just taking that this is the column, this is the column, and the ninth row. Okay, ninth row I'm just selecting that first, just provided the, if you check the range B5 B9 to D15. Okay, assume that if marks not available here, let's take total. So in that case, the system will return the value something like did not find the value in marks. Okay, it's okay. So the range we defined from 9 to 240. So instead of defining that marks here, let's type that marks in the second row. But still I'm having the result as a error. The reason is the controller will look for the value specified in the search element in the first row only. So assume that here I'm just specifying that ranges as a B9 and D15. B9 is the starting row. Okay, B9 is starting row. So controller will take that B9 row alone. Okay, so it won't verify that further ranges and further for the rows and for the columns. It will take that search range will be only in that ninth row. So that is how HLOOKUP works. Okay, so if you want to search element in the 10th row, you must specify that condition, range condition, starting with B10. So in this case, if you check that, it is returning 30. But still you must know how it is returning a 30, because I'm just specified that starting row as B10. So this is the starting row. So controller will look for the value here only. So this is the starting row, and here only it will search. And even if you define a element marks here, it won't check. The reason is we specified a specific range. If you check that, you can get to know. So selected range is something like B10 to D15. This is the selected range. So this three column only, it will look for the value marks. Okay, here the marks found at that D10 column, D10 cell. Okay, so it is the result portion. D10 is the result portion. Okay, so finally I got the result portion at D10. Okay, so let's make it as a red color. So this is the result portion, and let me come to that third parameter. Here the value we defined that return position as a 3. 3 means from that return column, the controller will return the third findings. Okay, so this is the first finding, this is second finding, this is the third finding. So it will return third finding of the result position. Here it will return that the marks as so it will return the third position value. Let's take another scenario. So instead of third position, I'm just putting as a 6. Here if you check that, it is returning the value as a 240. Okay, means it is owning that result column. It is just neglecting other columns, because the result found as the total column. Okay, so this is the destination column. HLOOKUP will always search in that column wise. It will search horizontally. HLOOKUP will the search element work in a horizontally, whereas that value pick from in column wise. So that's how it works. Hope it helps you, and see you again with another interesting video.